Morning sunlight, 2 kids, and a stick that might as well be a legendary staff. The little boy charges forward, declaring himself a mighty wizard and launching magic at the so-called monster. The little girl plays along, growling dramatically and threatening to devour him whole. Then bonk. He smacks her on the head for real. She recoils, offended and betrayed. That wasn't part of the fantasy. His logic? Simple. Wizards beat monsters. That's the rule. She immediately demands a class change. If monsters lose, she wants to be a wizard too. He shuts that down just as fast. From a distance, Grandpa Rebus watches the chaos with an amused sigh. Kids this early in the morning, already at war. The boy, still fired up from battle, turns to Rebus with wide eyes. What does it take to become a wizard? Rebus doesn't sugarcoat it. Wizards aren't kids with sticks. They're the apex of humanity, nobles, knights, chosen bloodlines blessed with ancient power. You don't just decide to become one. And these two? Not happening. The words land heavier than he probably intended. A man nearby cuts in, half scolding Rebus for crushing children's dreams, then shifts the topic entirely. A monster has appeared. The air changes. The description spreads like wildfire. A leopard the size of a house, its body cloaked in pitch-black shadow. Something unnatural. Something is wrong, but there's hope. The village chief has gone to the city to request a wizard. Once a wizard arrives, the monster will be dealt with. That's how it works. A woman exhales in relief and gently pats the little girl's head, warning her to stay out of the forest for now. Rebus interrupts the comfort with a colder truth. Without a wizard, killing a monster is nearly impossible. The villagers all know. But then comes the question, what about him? The scene shifts to a quiet hill. The shepherd on Hizaril Hill, Turan. Turan lies in the grass, sheep lazily grazing around him. He stares at the sky, drowning in monotony. Same scenery, same day, over and over. At this rate, he jokes to himself, he might forget how to talk. It's not just boredom, it's stagnation. A shadow blocks the sun. Rebus. He wastes no time calling Turan pathetic for slacking off before sunset. Turan doesn't even sit up, just tells him to move. He's blocking the light. Respect? None. Rebus accuses him of still clinging to that incident. Turan finally turns cold. That incident? Oh, you mean when his mother died, and Rebus quietly tried to make the sheep shared property? Yeah, that one. He makes it clear he's not generous enough to share his mother's inheritance. They're not close. They're not friends. So if Rebus has something to say it and leave. Rebus explodes, calling him a brat. Turan finally locks eyes with him, gaze piercing. What? Rebus finally says it straight. A monster has appeared. A leopard as big as a house. Rob saw it himself. The whole village has been warned. Turan keeps petting a sheep like they're discussing the weather. That's a serious problem, he says flatly. Rebus studies him. No fear, no tension. Just that same lazy indifference. He points out the obvious. Turan, isolated on this hill, is the most likely target. The chief has gone to fetch a wizard, so until then, be careful. And then, almost reluctantly, he admits he came because he was worried. Turan doesn't buy it. He calls him out instantly. If Rebus was worried, it was about the sheep, not him. And with one last jab, he tells the old man to leave. But once he's alone, his thoughts shift. Monsters. If humans have wizards, beasts have monsters. That's the balance. A wizard coming to this forgotten backwater village just because of one monster? For the first time all day, Turan feels something other than boredom. Interest. He wonders what a wizard really looks like, how strong they truly are. Even if it's some mediocre rural mage, he still wants to see one. Just how powerful are they? Then, his expression changes. He smells it. Blood. The sun is setting as Turan walks into the forest, following the scent with eerie certainty. Each step makes the smell stronger. He knows this path. He's sure of it. And then, time seems to stop. Rebus's body lies in the ground, dead. Turan's thoughts turn cold and precise. This isn't the work of a normal wild animal. It has to be the monster. The ground trembles. He looks up. Golden, glowing eyes stare back at him from a massive, shadow-covered beast. The leopard the size of a house. A memory overlaps the present. A child asking his father how strong a monster is. The father's answer is grim. If ordinary adults rushed one, there wouldn't even be bones left to collect. But it's okay. A wizard will come. Wizards are great beings born with magic. They can kill monsters with a single word. The child believes it completely. A single word. The monster lunges at Turan. He doesn't move. He simply says one word. Die. Red energy flickers around him. The monster halts, then retreats. It stares at him, wary now. Turan blinks, almost confused, tapping his cheeks like he's checking if he's awake. Not working? The beast charges again. Stop. Again, it's forced back. Turan frowns. He already expected kill. Wouldn't be that easy. But it can't even be fully stopped. The monster roars and swings its massive claws. This time, Turan doesn't rely on words. He takes a huge step back. No panic, no scream, just calculation, and the quiet realization he might not need a wizard after all. Turan doesn't flinch. He picks up a rock. From his belt, he reveals a crude, primitive sling. Nothing fancy, just leather and instinct. As he begins to spin it, the rock vanishes into motion, swallowed by speed. His eyes glow gold. The monster charges. Turan releases. The stone tears through the air at terrifying velocity, but it only grazes the monster's cheek. A miss. The beast lunges instantly. Claws slash behind him. Jaws snap inches from his face. And then, time freezes. The air goes silent. The rock reappears mid-trajectory, as if reconsidering its mistake. It corrects itself. In the next instant, it slams into the monster's skull with overwhelming force, blasting through and pinning its massive body to a tree. The forest goes still. Just like that. The shadowed leopard hangs lifeless. Turan stands in front of the corpse, calm, almost casual. He mutters that it's his first time using that trick on a monster. No pride, no shock, just mild curiosity. Then he looks at the enormous body and sighs. Should he toss it into a valley somewhere? The villagers really have him doing all the work. And somewhere in the quiet forest, one fact settles in. The wizard never came. He wasn't needed. Standing alone in the forest, Turan thinks it plainly. He is a wizard. He realized it 8 years ago, when he was 10. The memory is still sharp. A younger Turan beams with excitement, showing his mother logs floating in midair. Fire sparks at his will. Wind stirs because he says so. To him, it's magic. A miracle. Something amazing to share. To her, it's terror. Stop it. It was the first and last time his mother ever shouted at him. The excitement drains from the boy instantly. She calls him over, her tone no longer angry, just serious, heavy. Does he want to live with her for a long time? Of course he does. Then he has to promise her something. Never use this power again, and never ever use it in front of other people. When he asks why, she reminds him of the old story. Those with special powers are called wizards, whether noble or knight. But they are not the same. Nobles are descendants of the divine Freyans, beings who descended to save humanity long ago. Knights are their diluted bloodlines, mixed, weaker, lower. Even among wizards, hierarchy exists, and Turan, he inherited his power from his father, a knight. There are nobles beyond this quiet village who see knights not as equals, but as slaves. Her voice softens, but the warning is absolute. No one can ever know. He promises, and he keeps it. Back in the present, Turan stands in silence. 8 years have passed since that day. He has never broken his word. He has no desire to reveal himself as a wizard, no desire to descend the mountain, no desire to step into a world where power means chains. The promise still holds, and so does the secret. A fist pounds against Turan's door. He opens it to find a crowd waiting, tense, angry, already convinced. He steps out calmly. So, you're saying I killed Rebus? No denial, no panic, just a question that makes them even angrier. One of the men grabs him by the collar, shouting that he hurt the old man and threw him out to be eaten by monsters. Turan doesn't even blink. He lays it out coldly. Rebus died alone while the younger men were too scared to face the monster. Now they need someone to blame, and he's convenient. The accusation hits harder than any punch, so the man tries to throw one. Turan dodges easily. A clean headbutt drops the attacker back. In his mind, it's simple. Magic is convenient. If he strongly wishes for something, it happens, at the cost of mana. He doesn't need fire. He doesn't need spectacle. Just a whisper. Fall over. One thug collapses instantly. Just a little push. Subtle. Invisible. Not enough to kill. Just enough to dominate. For 8 years, he has hidden what he is. And he's very good at it. Turan turns to the girl standing nearby. Are you here to fight too? They panic. No, they just came to see him. He tells them to drag the idiots away. As he takes off his jacket, he already knows what's coming next. The town will turn this into another excuse to cheat him during trade. Fine. He'll just beat fairness into them if he has to. He mutters that the thugs shouldn't be back anytime soon. Then, another knock. His expression darkens. They must be insane. He yanks the door open, furious, and freezes. Not a thug. A stranger. A man with a sword. Polite. Composed. Almost refined. He apologizes for the timing, saying he hoped to ask for a favor during his travels. Turan blinks. A traveler? He quickly straightens himself, awkwardly apologizing for the earlier scene. His mother taught him manners, but he's never had to use them in this town. It feels unnatural. Still, a swordsman in this sleepy place? Suspicious. If you're looking for an inn, he pauses. Come in. Inside, Turan offers what little food he has, apologizing for the simplicity. The traveler calls it a feast. He seems amused that Turan has never met someone from outside the village. Turan explains he's lived on this hill his whole life. Outsiders rarely pass through. The man observes him carefully, the way he eats, the way he speaks. For a shepherd, Turan's manners are refined. His parents must have raised him well. Turan says he learned from his mother, and that she died years ago. There's no dramatics in his voice, just fact. The traveler offers quiet praise. A mother who raised such a son must surely rest among the gods. Turan brushes it off. He simply lives the way she taught him. Then he asks the real question. What brings someone like him to this forgotten town? The man answers plainly. He was asked to take care of a monster puma. And then, I am a wizard. The words land differently. Turan's eyes sharpen, but his face remains calm. So this is the wizard the elder mentioned. The man confirms it. And just like that, the wizard Turan wanted to see is standing inside his house. The wizard sets his bowl down gently. May I ask you something? Turan agrees, calm as ever. The man's gaze sharpens. He says he can sense a monster in the area, yet he doesn't see one. That's strange. Even stranger, Turan knows about the elder, knows about the monster, and yet he isn't running. He isn't afraid. If the monster were to target anyone, it would be him, isolated on this hill. So why is he so calm? Why is a shepherd who has never left this town standing so steadily in front of a wizard? The question finally lands. Who are you? The air tightens. The scene shifts to the past. A young Turan once asked the same question in a different form. Why can't anyone know he's a wizard? His mother's answer was heavy with quiet dread. Bad nobles. If nobles are shepherds, she said, then knights are the dogs they keep. They may treat you like family, but they can sell you, sacrifice you, discard you. She didn't want that life for him, and she made one thing painfully clear. No one can ever know, especially other wizards. If they find out, they will separate them. They will take him, turn him into their obedient hound. Something useful, something disposable. Her voice, in memory, becomes colder. To avoid being discovered as a wizard, he might have to kill people. Back in the present, the wizard's question still hangs in the air. Who are you? And for the first time since he walked in, the room doesn't feel warm anymore. Turan's thoughts harden. So this is what it comes to. The wizard notices his silence. Why can't you answer? Then he smiles. If you make a face like that, it makes my joke awkward. A joke. Turan blinks. The killing intent he was preparing dissolves, just slightly. Turan apologizes stiffly, claiming he lacks a sense of humor. The wizard waves it off, saying he must have flustered him. Turan recovers quickly. It's just his first time hearing a wizard joke, that's all. The tension fades. The wizard extends his hand. They haven't properly introduced themselves yet. His name is Kiorn, a wanderer. Turan takes his hand, introducing himself as an 18-year-old shepherd. Kiorn casually mentions he's 75. Turan stares. Wizards age slowly, live longer. Just like that, the impossible becomes normal. Turan asks how he became a wanderer. Kiorn explains he served the Arabian family for 60 years before leaving. In his later years, he wanted to roam freely instead of being tied down. There's something almost romantic about it. For the first time in a long while, Turan finds himself enjoying a conversation. No tension, no hostility, just ease. He didn't realize it could feel like this, speaking openly with someone decent, someone warm. The sun rises before either of them notice. Kiorn stands, surprised at how late it's gotten. He places a silver coin on the table. Arabian silver, pure and more than enough to cover the meal. Turan accepts it politely and wishes him luck on his hunt. Kiorn smiles. Don't act like we'll never see each other again. He might stop by again to mooch a meal. And then he leaves. Out in the field, Turan whispers one word. Gather. The sheep immediately move toward him. He watches them silently. It was his first time meeting another wizard. But more than that, when was the last time he had a conversation that felt that comfortable? Kiorn's tone, his humor, the ease in his voice. He wasn't like the nobles in his mother's warnings. He wasn't like the hunting dogs Turan imagined knights to be. He was good. And that's what makes this harder. How is he supposed to tell him that there are no more monsters on his real hill? In the forest, Kiorn pauses. There are clear traces of battle, but no monster's presence. Was it already hunted? By whom? Another wizard. If someone made things safe, that's what matters. Or so he thinks. Then, his eyes widen. Something is wrong. Before him stands the same monstrous leopard, but not alive. A wraith. Kiorn dodges its claws smoothly, mind racing. If you don't absorb or disperse the mana from a dead monster's corpse, it turns into a wraith. Any wizard who hunts monsters should know that. The beast lunges again. He evades it mid-air. So whoever killed this monster was definitely a wizard. But why leave it like this? Ignorance? Impossible. A novice who doesn't know something so basic couldn't have killed a monster of this level. Golden energy gathers in his hands, forming into the shape of a radiant arrow. Then there's only one possibility: intent. Whatever the reason, he has to destroy it. Kjorn releases the golden arrow. It should have ended it. Instead, the monster nullifies it. His eyes widen. His magic erased? That can only mean one thing. The Wraith's mana is overwhelmingly stronger than his. Then the monster melts into the shadows. Gone. Is it countering magic with magic? Where did it? Too late. It rises from his own shadow. Claws crash into him, sending him stumbling back 3 full steps. This isn't something a mere knight can handle. At minimum, it would take a lower-ranked noble to stand a chance. And somehow, in this remote mountain village, he's facing a wraith of this caliber. So this is where it ends. Kjorn grits his teeth. He won't die obediently. If he falls, he'll drag the monster down with him. A small golden sphere forms in his palm. He'll pour all his mana into one final strike. The moment it lunges, he'll stab straight through it. They charge at each other. Time freezes. Then, blue light floods the forest. A streak of blue energy pierces straight through the monster's head. Kjorn watches, stunned. A voice echoes calmly through the trees. "Are you all right?" Kjorn exhales slowly. A shepherd's joke is pretty startling too, Turin. Turin steps forward. "So you were a wizard?" "Yes, sir." No denial this time. Kjorn studies him carefully. Why didn't he say anything before? No, more importantly, why did he help? He could have walked away, left him to die. Turin hesitates, because the memory overlaps. Turin once asked Kjorn why he would go so far for villagers who could barely pay him. Kjorn's answer was simple: they're pitiful people, living on the frontier, trembling in fear without protection. A wizard inherits the power of a god, so they should live with pride in protecting the powerless. Not every wizard thinks that way, but he does. Back in the present, Turin smiles faintly. Doesn't everyone have their own way of living? The monster surges again. Both step back. Kjorn shouts that this isn't their level. It's a monster only a noble could fight. Turin needs to warn the village chief. Help evacuate. He'll hold it here. Even as he says it, Kjorn knows he's buying time he doesn't have. I talked big, but I don't know how long I can last. It's okay. Kjorn blinks. What? A rock, wrapped in blue energy. If that attack landed just now, I think it'll be okay. Korn's thoughts spiral. That wasn't his full strength? A young knight hiding in the mountains can hunt a wraith even nobles struggle with? No. This isn't just a chance encounter in a rural village. This isn't reckless bravado. What he's witnessing might be the beginning of a wizard who will overturn the world. Blue energy floods the clearing, surging around Turin like a rising tide. He looks at the monster steadily. I was curious about my limits too.